Alright, so this is Austin, or TheDruggeTrio, and recently I was looking at the YCS lists and I saw that Nordics had hit top 32, I believe. So I figured I'd do a deck list of my own, since, you know, I've been using them for a couple months now. I just like how they've been playing out. Mine aren't as similar. The side deck rides a little more to what their main deck was, so I'm just gonna go through it now. 3 Gold Foxy, just because it's like the only tuner you really need, other than Effect Veiler, but you're not supposed to really use it as a tuner. 3 Tangjoster, or whatever you want to call it. It's like the perfect engine for the deck. When it switches from defense to attack, you get its effect, and also you special summon it when your monsters are destroyed by battle. I run 3 Tangrisnir because I don't have some certain cards like Tutor Guide and all that. I'll explain a little more about what I do with the side and all that later. 3 Reborn Tengu, just because, you know, if your opponent goes first and they synchro summon, and you have Gold Foxy and Tengu in hand, you go Scrap Dragon and you automatically get to use this effect and all that. It's really abusive on your opponents if they just go monster heavy. I run 2 Raikou, just because I don't run a lot of back row hate, and it's easy to take out monsters with Raikou. Also, I do a lot of setting with this deck, so they don't know which one's Raikou and which one is just, you know, another hamster. 2 Super Nimble Mega Hamsters, since I run 2 Raikou. Also, it special summons out the Tangrisnir and Tangjoster. 2 Effect Veiler, just because I hate Bionic and Trishula and all that. I don't have warnings, so this is my way of saying, go for it, I don't care what you do. And just 2 staple monsters, Sangan and Gores. Sangan lets you search out Super Nimble Mega Hamster, or any of the goats that are used in the deck, and Raikou, Effect Veiler, or anything that you might side into. I like the monster lineup. I'd rather be doing something more towards what guy at YCS did, where he went BLS with tour guides and all that. But I don't have the money to be doing that. I'll start on the spells now for the deck. They're pretty standard. Dark Hole, 1 Heavy, 1 Monster Reborn. I run 1 Econ because I run 3 Tangrisnir. Book of Moon, Pot of Avarice, since I run 2 Raikou, and another reason that I'll explain later. I run 1 MST, since I run 2 Raikou, and I run 1 Mind Control, since I do use a Veiler, and it's always fun to just take your opponent's monster and go for a quick synchro summon. On to the traps now. 3 of the Gleipnirs, or Gleipnir, whatever you want to call it. Your opponent attacks into Sangan or something, and you just flip it and go Tangjoster, or whatever it's called. I always forget the names. I just call them Token Beater and stuff like that. But yeah, Tangjoster is the one that does that. I do run 2 Mind Crush, just because of Fabled and all that stuff. Also GKs when I play against it, because that's one of the harder decks to play against with this deck. I run 2 Compulse, since I don't have warnings. It gets over some synchros, and it gets over some of the exceeds too, since some of them can't be destroyed, like Gachi and all that, as well as BLS and all that. You just bounce their monster and then they have to remove it again. I run 1 Chaos Trap Hole because this format seems very light and dark, with agents, Gravekeepers, Lightsworn, and Dark Worlds coming out. You know, Chaos Trap Hole seems really good to me. So I've been testing 1 for now. I haven't really gone to a regionals. I've gone to one regionals, but I wasn't using Chaos Trap Hole yet. I use one call just so I can get back tuners real quick and go for an easy synchro summon. Trap Dust Shoot, just so you could have the Trap Dust Shoot Mind Crush combos. They're so easy, and they start your opponent a little hurt compared to what you start out with, especially if you start out Black Goats and you just take away their monsters so they can't do anything. There are one Torrential Tribute, makes for easy, you know, you get to do some damage because of Gold Taxi being a 1600 beater as well. You just clear the field and you do some damage. One Mirror Force, in case I do have one of my monsters destroyed by battle, and then I can bring out a Tangosner. You just Mirror Force, that way your Tangosner stays safe. You know, I'm going to do my side deck now. It's not complete, and it's I'm kind of testing it at the moment. 3 Breaker, because one of the main decks that I worry about at the moment would be macro decks coming out and just randomly deciding to take a crap all over everybody. Or on 2DD Crow, so I just like how it runs. You can stop people's BLS plays by taking out their darks if they're playing agents and all that. Also, Dark Worlds, get rid of their Grappas before they can summon them and do some damage. 2 Thunder Kings. Even though you do search in this deck, you could you don't have to have Thunder King on the field. And I just love him in general because he's a 1900 beater and he's light, and which leads me into running one of these, BLS, obviously. He's probably the reason why the guy top 32 at YCS, because people didn't expect him to side into having that. I do run 1 Chaos Sorcerer. I thought about running 2, because I was debating on between running 2 Chaos Sorcerer and 1 Chaos Sorcerer and 1 Dad, but I'm probably going to go with the Chaos Sorcerer, since Dad seems a little slow, so that might become 2. A 3rd Raikou, just because, you know, if you don't end up using the Tan Grisneers, or they don't attack that much, you can use Raikou and you could actually have some effects there. Another Econ, just because, you know, you flip the Raikou, you can use Econ and take their monster and be able to go off with plays like that. Burial from a Different Dimension, just because I got tired of Chaos Sorcerers and BLSs removing my monsters and then drawing into Pot of Avarice and not being able to do anything with that. And then I cite another Chaos Trap Hole, just in case they are running agents or whatever. I can actually do something about them. And now I'm going to do the extra deck, just because the deck is a little more unique than most side decks, or extra decks, I mean. 1 Catastor. I mean, you only need to run 1/5. You can run 2, depending on how you're going to play, because you do have the effect Bailers, and you can Monster Reborn and all that, so it can help at times. You just flip your Super Nimble Mega Hamster and then summon the effect Bailer on top of it. 1 Cryonic, just in case you Monster Reborn and bring out their stuff, and then you could actually synchro into something. 1 Black Rose, it's kind of standard. Most people use it. 1 Ancient Fairy Dragon, lets you go for easy synchros with your hand. You bring out more monsters, you can exceed, or whatever you want to do. And here's where it gets a little bit different than most decks. The Voltic Bicorn, just because there's a lot of decks at the moment that are going to need their cards, and if you mill their main cards, then you just gain much advantage over them. Like getting rid of their Dark Holes and all that. I don't care if I get rid of mine if I've got something big on the field. Another different card would be Ancient Sacred Wyvern. I love this card. It's so easy to win games with it. It's just kind of funny because you can summon another synchro, or you can flip 2 Tantossners if you get lucky enough to have 2 on the field, and then you just get mad pluses. Stardust. I do run 2 8s. I run Scrap Dragon, but I just had something go down where I don't have a Scrap Dragon at the moment. So I would be running a Scrap Dragon too. I do run 1 Mistworm, just because there's a lot of cards at the moment that I'd rather not have removed from play. I'd rather have them returned to the hand. Also, there's certain cards that I just feel would be easier to deal with if they were in the hand, plus Mind Crushes. And I do run 1 Thor, just because if they do get Catastor up, there's not much you can do in this deck with Catastor being on the field. So you summon Thor, you call priority on its effect, and you just swing over for 1,300 points of damage. It's very nice to have. 1 Leviathan, because I do run a lot of 3s, run Sanguines, the Tantossners, the Tangrisners, all that stuff. I do run a Grenosaurus, just because it's nice to be able to do a little bit more damage, but it would be a Leviair if I had one. And then a Utopia. I also, when I said the Mistworm, I would be running a Trishula too, but my friend is borrowing it at the moment. So, if you have any ideas about the deck, go ahead and comment or whatever. This was just my little project. I was tired of using meta, and figured I'd try and do something a little more costless. So, just let me know what you guys think, and thanks for watching the video.